Soul Sister series, in pursuit of a pleasure-filled life.
Hey guys!
Hi!
Welcome to SOULtv.
Welcome to SOULtv.
Yeah, so you just celebrated your 1-year wedding anniversary.
Yes, in June 15th.
Yay!
Yay! 1 year.
And you blogged about it.
Yes, I did. I blogged about it on Urban Eve.
Well,
Which is now Herb Eve. Sorry, Herb
I was going to say Herb Eve.
Which is now its own domain.
Praise Jesus! Because it used to be herbeve.wordpress.com. I was like, could you pay the $7 and just make it your own? So praise Jesus! herbeve.com. Love it. Oh, I actually have the post up. 1 year anniversary, tending to intimacy. Aww. Wonderwall.
Wonderwall. Yeah, because you know.
And I read it. You talk about your love languages. So how does it feel to still be a newlywed? Because it still is.
It feels, here's the interesting thing. Like, it is funny. Like, we are still technically newlyweds.
Yeah.
Even after a year. Like, I was at a party and people were just like, oh, how is it? Like, oh, how's it been? And I'm just like, it's great, guys. Like, yeah. I want to like get all the mileage we can out of this like a newlywed thing, even though we've been together like over 10 years.
I'm like, you guys been together forever.
For a long time. Yeah.
Is it 11 years? Is it 10 years?
I think it's about 11 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get back to your wedding anniversary.
Right.
And your blog and how like happy you were, and you and Francis celebrated. Seems like for a while.
For a few days, yeah.
For a few days.
Yeah.
Because your wedding anniversary kind of was also tucked in with, well, when you celebrated, it was also tucked in with Father's Day.
Right.
And in your first year of marriage, I'm putting her on the spot. She would open to ask her this. What is one thing that you've learned? One thing that you've learned. One piece of advice you would give to someone as they embark on this newly wedded bliss.
You know, when you've known someone as long as me and Francis have known each other and been together as long as we have, I'll say that where you are right now with Uber Eats.
Don't be bringing up me and my Uber Eats.
I just want to bring it up because it's so exciting and so like sparkly, and I love that part, and I always want to like, have that part last and last and last. So I'm always wanting to, that's what spending time together for me is. It's just like being conscious about connecting with the person that you're with and still learning about them. And so that's what's important to me. So
your word of advice is to make sure that you always have quality time?
It's to make sure that you always have quality time, or do whatever is necessary for you to always reconnect with the thing that brings you together with that person, and not, again, forget. To me, I always think of it like a plant. You might get or a puppy or anything new in your life. The newness is always incredible, but you have to take care of it. You have to remember to water it. You have to remember to feed it. Much like, I'm sure, a child, you can't just be like, oh wow, this person is awesome. But you know what? Like, they'll stay awesome. I don't have to call them. I don't have to remind them that I care about them. I don't have to spend time with them. Like, they'll just be there. You have to actually nurture the relationship. And even though that can be very difficult when you're living with somebody, because you can occasionally start to be like passing ships in the night, like furniture, and that's okay as long as you always remember, okay, this is our time. I mean, it's not okay. It's not okay, but it will happen. It's not like...
But I think what you're trying to say is don't allow it to happen as
What I'm
often.
saying is always make sure that there is a time where you're just like, for everything, like that you get up and exercise at 5 in the morning. Like, make sure like, oh, this is our time to be together. This is our time that we're gonna come together and go do something. Like, let's look up a new restaurant, or let's go for a walk in the park. Like, that kind of stuff is the stuff that you have to now be diligent about. Whereas in the beginning, it doesn't matter what you do. It's just like, hey, we're gonna be together in the park. God! In the street, I mean, I remember going to movies with Francis. I remember one movie we saw that was like so depressing. I didn't even notice it because we were just sitting in the theater like this.
Oh God.
We were just like, what was that we saw? Something about Sean Penn and some depressing. I don't know.
Oh God.
We just needed a space to just hang out.
Me and Uber Angels
You know.
are not that disgusting. When I read yours, I was like, because I had 2 blogs waiting to come out. One was about being free-spirited, and then the other one was about essentially Uber Idris.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, well, in honor of her anniversary, I'll go ahead and publish this one about being happy.
Which I was so happy.
God, I can't take her.
Cute. I want to know where you found that image of the black people
Girl,
together.
black people in love. And I scrolled and I scrolled.
So nice. That's the kind of image I want to see like all the time.
Every day.
Just every day.
I know. I
Just like on commercials.
Yeah.
In you know in shops, on the news, in books, magazines.
You're talking about
Commercials.
the one where she's laying on his back, right?
Yeah.
I know. I saw it. That one.
So sweet.
Oh. Yeah.
And he's got the beard.
I know. That's what I was just gonna say. I was like,
How did you find like the perfect picture?
I was thinking it, and then I was like, no, don't be that cheesy. But yeah, he has the little beard that I love. He just needs a little bit of more gray in it, right? Oh.
It's so specific. I love it.
It is. Yeah, so I was inspired by yours, and I was like, all right, well, shoot, let me go ahead and set this one out. Because, you know, I can't even fight it. And I don't even like that song.
I don't like it either, but
it's a good premise.
yeah.
All of that to talk about this new book that I'm reading. We're going to talk about The Power of Now. But I got a new book yesterday. The Happy Wives Club. Why did I do it to myself? I think because I'm in this love bubble. I'm in this love bubble. And I saw it on my Kindle and it was $2.99. I was like, oh yeah. I first saw it in Essence, the January edition, January 2015 Essence edition. Her premise was that in the media, we don't see anything positive about marriage. That it's always, you know, all of the reality shows, all of the TV shows, like marriage is the worst thing in the world. And she was a happily married woman and felt kind of corny for being happily married. Didn't feel like there was a space.
That's how you can feel if everyone else is miserable around you, corny.
And there wasn't a space to just be like, what?
Yeah.
Sunshine and roses and teddy bears and buttercups!
Yeah.
So she set out on interviewing women around the globe. She went to 6 continents. She didn't do Antarctica. She was like, I don't think the penguins have that much to tell me. But she interviewed women around the globe who had been happily married for at least 25 years. And her first interview starts with this woman who was married for 53 years. And it's so funny because that was her piece of advice. Well, the woman didn't give advice, she just kind of told her story, but you can pull out the pieces of advice. And she was just like, quality time. My husband and I made the decision, especially after we had kids, that we didn't want to grow apart from one another in that 18-year span of having these children. So they made time to always have quality time alone throughout their children time and then before and after. And so I called Zenzele on Friday to tell her I made the biggest mistake in my life because I'm reading this book on a train and like constantly crying, like welling up. The corniness can't stop. It was just too much because I don't get to see self-proclaimed happy wives.
Yeah.
Or people that want to be happy wives.
Yeah.
Like, so Fawn was talking about, like, I love being married, I love taking care of my husband, I love my husband taking care of me, I love, you know, and then both of them, Fawn and the 53-year-old woman, said that they both were always afraid that their husband would realize that they really weren't shit. Something someone else can relate to. I mean, I think I can relate to it too, just because I know, I was really uncomfortable, like, he's so dope. I hope he understands that I'm not as dope as him.
Well, you know, you were saying something about her saying that he's a people person and
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
And I totally relate to that because I'm always just like, you know, one of the things that I love about Francis is that we would walk into the bodega and on the corner where we used to live in Harlem, and the guy behind, like, they have a relationship. He's just like, hey, what's up? Hey, man, how you doing? Oh, how's this doing? And I'm just like, I've lived here for, like, I am not the person who will make connections with people in my neighborhood. I'm just like, tunnel vision, and Francis is just like, people will talk about him. Hey, how's your husband? Where is he? Where is he at? I'm just like, you know him? Like,
you know he's my husband?
Like, when did you guys have this time together?
They both said, well, no. The 53-year-old woman said she was an asshole. She didn't like anybody. And he would be so gregarious and outgoing. And so Fawn was saying, you know, she always has this fear that her husband is going to realize that she really ain't shit because he has so much, like, faith in her and thinks that she's, like, magical. She's like, I don't know when he's going to realize, not so much. And I think I had that moment. I mean, I guess I don't know if you ever outgrow that moment of thinking that the person that you're with, one person thinking that the person that you're with is, like, amazing, and the other person being like, I hope they don't figure out that I'm not amazing.
Well, I think that for me, like, I used to think that, and I think that I've accepted that the kind of person that I am, which is not like the person who immediately is just like to everyone like, hey, like, I want to know everything about you. Mostly because people tell me everything about them without me really pulling anything. So that happens to me a lot. But in terms of thinking like, oh, I'm a jerk and he's such a nice person.
You used to think that.
I did.
Oh, I was going to say. I've had to talk her off the ledge.
Right, yeah, but I've come to accept that I don't need to be like him.
Right.
And he doesn't have to be like me. Like, this is the reason why we're together.
But getting back to Happy Wives Club, I think one of the things that made me so emotional is just like, wow, we really don't talk about marriage in a happy way, and we don't talk about, like, being a wife or having a husband, or...
Because it feels corny when you're in a society. It does.
Corny.
I mean, I always think about the scene in Sex and the City where all the girls are sitting together and Samantha is asking Charlotte, like, how often are you happy in your marriage? And she's just like, every day. And Samantha's like, you're happy in your every day. And I'm just like, that's kind of how I feel. Because you know that Charlotte's just like, every day? Like, I'm sorry, but it's a lot. Like, I like it.
All the time!
That's kind of how I feel with Francis. It's just like, things are great. It's wonderful. we're great. Like, I like being with him. He's my friend, and we laugh, and we have fun, and, like, I like it. But I don't feel like I can say that around everyone.
Well, you know, that's my struggle.
Like, I feel like they're waiting for the, like, so is it still good?
Yeah.
So is it, does it
be.
become, like, you know, and I'm just like, first of all, what's that about? And second of all, like, yeah, it's great, okay, so we're done here. Like,
I mean, as I'm reading, I'm like, I strive to be a happy wife. Like, I have, and I think I've always had an idea of what it meant to be like a wife, and that idea always seemed happy to me. I can't really put happy wives together, but then everything else in society is just like, no, not so much.
right.
So just thinking about, like, Happy Wives Club and just, I guess, happiness in general. Like, you know, I started my blog by saying that you said you used to turn down your happiness around certain people.
Yeah.
And then I really started thinking about it. Like, that's so sad. Like, it's so much more acceptable to be, like, upset and
complaining
and gloomy and how was your day? It was miserable. It's so much more accepted to be like, I hate my band, I hate my job, I hate my life, I hate everything, I hate everything. It's just, that's like normal.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, I'm good. Life's good. Man's good. Job's good. So the woman who had been married 53 years, her husband passed. at the point where Fawn was interviewing her. It had been 3 years, and she talked about like how it just felt. I mean, can you imagine just being with someone for 53 years and then them not being there? And she's just like, you can't even watch a show because you're like, like you're not there. Like, and you're sleeping in your bed, and your bed is empty. I don't know.
I can't imagine. Like, I sometimes think when I'm thinking, I don't want to say it's morbid thoughts, like we're all gonna die, but I'm just like, I was just like, I think that I prefer to go first because I don't think that I could.
So I'm laughing.
It's just all like, woo! It's just like, yeah, I don't know if I can.
I'm laughing because in the book, at least the 53-year-old married woman was like, I just wanted us to die together.
That's ideal to me.
That's Jesus, take us together.
That is exactly the answer. Yeah.
And you know, as we're talking, it just makes me think about the difference between falling in love and rising in love. Because, you know, like you fall in love, and in the book that we were reading before, well, the book that I was reading that you need to read, you look like something blooming. You gotta get this. Blossoming? Blooming? What is it saying? Blooming! Gotta get that. She was talking about, like, when you have butterflies in your stomach, it could be a sense of nervousness. Because, you know, with Uber Idris, I haven't had any of my normal indicators of happiness and joy, butterflies, nervousness, you know, whatever, other than trying to get dressed, which I've never had before. Like, I would just get dressed.
Yeah.
But when I read that, I was like, oh, that makes me feel better that I don't have, like, these butterflies, because I just kind of have this knowingness that,
Right.
you know,
Right.
we gonna be all right. You know, come get me.
Okay,
So no, last year wasn't your Jubilee return. It was just a good ass year. Because it's 12, 24, 36, 48.
Yeah. I remember us having this conversation where Shahira was just like, oh, you had such a great year, you got married, you graduated, you got your degree, and I'm just like, yeah.
They all happened in like a month.
It did. A lot happened.
Everything happened in May. It was her birthday. She graduated.
Right.
She got married. Between like May 15th and June 15th, hello.
It was
tons of shit. Your honeymoon.
Yeah.
I can't with her. It was a good year.
Soul Sister Series, in pursuit of a pleasure-filled life, though shit keeps on happening.